Hello my viewers. Today we are going to start our discussion on design of steel structures. In this video lecture we shall discuss on connections for steel structures. Steel structures are formed by connecting available standard sections. So these standard sections may be I section, channel section or T sections or tubular sections, etc. as per Indian standard codes or our steel table. The connections form an important part of any structure and are designed more conservatively than individual members. So this is because connections are more complex than members to analyze, and the discrepancy between analysis and actual behavior is large. In case of overloading, we prefer the failure confined to an individual member rather than in connections. So why we prefer this? Try to understand. Let us take one connects joint. Four members are connected at this joint by some connections at the available at the joint. So if the failure occur at the joint or at the connection, all four members will be affected. But instead, if the failure occur in any individual member, then that failure will not affect the other member. So we prefer that the failure should occur at the individual member rather than connection. Next, design of connection is of primary importance for safety and economy of the structure. So this is because the connections accounts for the major portion of the cost of structural steelwork. Next, the connections provided in steel structures can be classified as follows: riveted connections, bolted and welded. These are the three major types of steel connections we provided to steel structures. So among these two, riveted and bolted connections we have to cover in this video lectures. Means among these two types of connections, some basic things we are going to discuss. Riveted connection. Riveted connection is now obsolete. But understanding of riveted connection is essentially for the strength evaluation and rehabilitation of the old structure. The analysis and design of riveted connection is same as that of the bolted connections. At this present time, in steel structures, we use bolted and welded connections. Our present code IS 800/2007 prefer only limited design and bolted connections. Then rivet. So what is rivet? A rivet is made of round ductile steel bar piece known as shank and with a head at one end. It is made up of mild steel or high tensile steel. So this is a typical picture of rivet. It has a head at the top and it has it has a bar at the bottom which is called the shank. And this is one picture of a rivet. It has two parts, one is the head, the other is called the shank. It is the body part, and at the top it has one cap which is called head. So these are 8 different types of rivet we commonly used for riveted connections. The snap head, pan head, then mushroom head, then counter shank head of different types, and then flat head. Then what is riveting? A riveting is the method of joining together pieces of metal by inserting a ductile metal pin known as rivet into the holes of the pieces to be connected and forming a head at the end of the rivet to prevent each metal piece from coming out. So if you see the figure, so we have two plates, at the top plate and the bottom plate, and we have to connect these two plates by riveting. So for that purpose, first of all we have to make one hole like this. This is the hole. This is the hole we have made through the two plates. Then we shall insert the rivet. This is the rivet through the hole. When we shall insert the rivet through the hole, so it will be like this. The head will be here, and then this portion is the shank. Okay. Some portion of the shank will be comes out from the face of the bottom plate, and by using some mechanical device, the extra portion of the shank which just comes out from the face of the plate, we shall make another head from that extra part of the shank. Okay, so finally the rivet will be like this. Means it will have in the top head, it will have in the bottom head. The difference between the top head and the bottom head is the top head is already exist before riveting, and the bottom head we have to make after driving through the hole. Okay, have you seen the difference? The top head is already exist, and the bottom head we have to make after driving it through the hole, so that these two plates attached perfectly without coming out from each other. This is called the riveting. So here small d is the gross diameter of the rivet, phi is the nominal diameter of the rivet, and d minus phi is the initial clearance. So what is the gross diameter of the rivet? This is the diameter of the rivet hole through which we have to insert the rivet, and phi is the nominal diameter of the rivet. That means it is the actual diameter of the shank which is to be inserted through the rivet hole, and d minus phi is the initial clearance. So this is one stock image of riveted connections. For the rivet, the driven head can be formed by hand hammering when the rivet bar is hot, or hydraulic pressure driving when the rivet head is cold. Based on driven head, the rivets are classified into 4 types. The first one is hot driven rivets. The rivets are driven in hot conditions. Then shop rivets. The rivets are placed in workshop. Then field rivets. The rivets are placed in field or site. And then coal driven rivets. Its usefulness is limited as high pressure is required to form the head at room temperature. Then the pattern of riveted joints. The riveted joints may be placed, the rivets may be placed in variety of patterns depending on the space available and the shape of the member to be connected. So these are different patterns of riveted joints. The first one is chain riveting, then staggered riveting, and the third one is diamond riveting. Then some of the disadvantages of riveted connections, due to which the uses of the riveted connections has now become obsolete. So it is associated with high level of noise pollution. Then its needs of heating the rivet to red hot. To form the driven head, we have to heat the rivet in maximum cases, because hot driven rivets are more preferable than cold riveting. Then the third one is inspection of connection requires a skilled person. Then removing poorly installed rivet is costly. Then installation cost is high. So due to these disadvantages, the uses of rivets has been replaced by bolted connections in present days. Next, come to the bolted connections. A bolt is a metal pin with a head formed at one end and the shank thread at the other end in order to receive a nut. So every bolt is connected to a nut at its shank, means at its bottom part of the shank. The bolts are used for joining together pieces of metals by inserting them through the holes in the metal and tightening the nut at the threaded end. So in our daily life, we have seen bolted connections everywhere. So like all other bolted connections, in steels also we can use the bolts which having bolt and nut. Some of the advantages of bolted connections. The erection of the structure can be speeded up. Do not need skill level like riveted connections. Then making joints is noiseless and it needs less number of labors. Then structure can be put to use immediately. Then alternations, if any, can be done easily. And the last one is working area required in the field is less. So these are the some of the advantages of bolted connections, due to which the uses of bolted connections in steel structures has now become popular. Classification of bolted connections. On the basis of the resultant force transferred, the bolted connections are classified into three types. The first one is concentric connection. The bolted connections are referred to as concentric connection when the load passes through the CG of the section. For example, axially loaded members, especially for columns. Then eccentric connections, while the resultant load is away from the CG of the connection. For example, bracket connections. If you see, so this is an example of eccentric connection because the load is not transferred through the CG. Next, moment resisting connections. When joints are subjected to moments, for example, beam to column connections. So these two are the example of moment connections. Now, on the basis of the types of force, the bolted connections can be classified into three different types. The first one is shear connection, when the load is transferred through shear, for example, lap joint or butt joint. So about this joint we will discuss later. Next, the tension connection, when the load is transferred by tension on the bolt. And the third one is combined tension and shear connection, when an inclined member is connected to the column through bracket connection, then this is called combined tension and shear. About the tension and shear in bolted connections we will discuss in the later stage. Then next one is on the basis of the force mechanism. Then bearing type connection, bolts bear against the hole to transfer the force. And then friction type connection, when the force is transferred by friction between the plates due to tensioning of bolt. The connection due to unfinished or black bolt comes under bearing type connection. Similarly, the connection due to HSFG bolt comes under friction type connection. Types of bolts. The bolts used in steel structures are of three types. The first one is unfinished bolt, or also known as common bolt or ordinary bolt or black bolts. The second one is turned bolt and fitted bolts, also known as finished bolt. And the third one is high strength friction grip bolts, or simply HSFG bolts. Black bolts. The black bolts are unfinished and are made of mild steel and are usually of grade 4.6. The grade 4.6 means if the bolt made of mild steel, then 4 into 100 will be its ultimate tensile strength. That is, ultimate tensile stress for the bolt is 400 Newton per mm square. And then its yield stress is 400 into 0.6, that is 240 Newton per mm square. So as the bolt is made up of mild steel, According to its grade 4.6, the ultimate tensile strength is 400, means 4 into 100, and the yield strength is the ultimate strength multiplied by 0.6, that is 240 Newton per mm square. Next, the black balls have adequate strength and ductility when used properly. But while tightening the nut snug tight, it will twist up easily if tightened too much. So snug tight means the tightness that exists when all the plies in the joint are in firm contact. The bolts are available in diameter 5 to 36 mm and are designated as M5 to M36, means they are designated based on their diameter. However, in structural steel work, the most common one are M16, M20, M24, M28 and M30. The net tensile area at threads to nominal plane sunk area of bolt is 0.78. Next, town bolts. They are also made up of mild steel. They are formed from hexagonal rods which are finished by turning to a circular shape, due to which these are known as finish bolt. Actual dimension of these bolts are kept 1.2 mm to 1.3 mm larger than the nominal diameter. These bolts are used in special job like connecting machine parts subjected to dynamic loading. Then third type of bolt is high strength friction grip bolts or simply HSFG bolts. These provide extremely efficient connections and perform well under fluctuating or fatigue load conditions. These bolts should be tightened to their proof load and required hardened washers to distribute the load under the bolted heads. The washers are usually tapered when used on roll steel sections. HSFG bolts are made from quenched and tempered alloy steel with grade from 8.8 to 10.9. The most common are 8.8 grade and have medium carbon content, which make them less ductile. The 10.9 grade have a much higher tensile strength but lower ductility, and the margin between the 0.2% yield strength and ultimate strength is also lower. Commonly available nominal diameter of HSFG bolts are 16, 20, 24, 30 and 36 mm. The successful introduction of this high strength friction grip bolts resulted in replacement of rivets. Types of bolted joints. The first one is the lap joint. The two members to be connected are overlapped and connected together. See, so this is a single bolted lap joint and this one is double bolted lap joint. The single bolted lap joint means one rows of bolts are provided at the overlap portion of the two plates. Similarly, in double bolted lap joint, two rows of bolts are provided at the overlapping portion of the two plates. The load in the lap joints has eccentricity as the CG of the load in one member and the CG of the load in the second member are not in same line. This causes considerable bending in the connection and the bolts may fail in tension. To minimize this effect, at least two bolts in a bolt line should be provided. That's why we prefer double bolted lap joint than the single bolted. The next one is butt joint. The two members to be connected are placed end to end. Additional cover plates are provided on either one or both sides and are connected to the main plates. If the cover plate is placed only on one side, then it is called single cover butt joint. See, two main plates are to be connected. These are two main plates, and above two main plates there is a cover plate. So since there is one cover plate, that's why it is called single bolted butt joint. And similarly, if we provide the plates on the both sides of the main plate, then that is called double covered double bolted butt joint. So this is one example of double covered double bolted butt joint. So these are all about some of the basics of the connections for steel structures, where we have discussed some basics of riveted and bolted connections. So thanks for watching the video. If you like the video, please share and subscribe. Thank you.